Do you think the stories we tell ourselves are just entertainment, fiction created to pass the time? What if I told you that some of our darkest tales aren't fiction at all, but carefully constructed veils hiding a truth too terrifying to acknowledge? A truth about something that has been hunting us, hunting, always watching. The year was 1987 when Hollywood released Predator, a film about an alien hunter stalking humans for sport. The public consumed it as science fiction, another monster movie for the collection. They were wrong. The film wasn't fiction. It was a warning, disguised as entertainment. This story begins long before cameras rolled on that movie, long before anyone had conceived of aliens hunting humans for sport. The pattern was always there, for those who knew where to look. In 1623, a French fur trapper named Jean-Baptiste Renaud disappeared in the northern territories of what would later become Quebec. His companions reported hearing strange clicking sounds in the woods for 3 nights before his disappearance. They found his body hanging from a tree, skinned, the internal organs removed with surgical precision, no animal tracks, no evidence of human attackers. Colonial officials recorded it as an indigenous attack, but the local tribes were just as terrified. They spoke of the one who makes trophies of men. The official report was sealed in 1624. It remains sealed to this day. 200 years passed, the pattern continued. 1823 Montana Territory. 5 members of a surveying expedition vanished. The lone survivor, James Mackenzie, babbled about a demon who can disappear like smoke before taking his own life 3 days later. His journal, now stored in a sub-basement of the Smithsonian, contains detailed drawings of a humanoid figure with skin like a reptile and eyes that burn in the darkness. The last page simply reads, "It collects us. It learns from us." The journal was classified in 1898 and hasn't been viewed by the public since. The incidents accelerated. 1862 during the Civil War. An entire Confederate patrol of 11 men disappeared near Gettysburg. Union forces discovered their bodies hanging from trees, skinned, spines removed. Both sides accused the other of atrocities. An investigation was launched, then abruptly terminated. The official conclusion, desertion. The investigator, Captain William Henderson, resigned his commission and disappeared into the Appalachian wilderness. His cabin was found abandoned in 1867. The walls were covered in drawings of a masked hunter and the repeated phrase, "It sees our heat." The pattern was forming. Remote locations, skilled hunters or warriors. Bodies displayed as trophies, spines and skulls removed. And always a single survivor left to tell a story so incredible it would never be believed. 1932, Papua New Guinea. A British anthropological expedition disappeared except for one member, Dr. Eleanor Hayes. She was found wandering the jungle, severely dehydrated, repeating one phrase, "It only hunts in the hot season." Her field notes described something using the trees to move, becoming invisible against the foliage. The colonial authorities diagnosed her with tropical delirium. She spent the rest of her life in an institution where she covered her room in drawings of a masked figure with hair like ropes and fingers like bladed weapons. Her final journal was confiscated by British intelligence and remains classified under the Official Secrets Act. The pattern continued, but changed. It was learning, adapting. 1954, Vietnam. Before American involvement, French Foreign Legion forces reported engaging with an unidentified hostile that could bend light around itself. 9 soldiers killed, all missing their skulls and spines. The lone survivor, Lieutenant Marcel Durand, submitted a report describing a creature that hunts with honor and only targets armed men. His report was buried. Durand was transferred to a desk position and died of apparent suicide 3 months later. His personal belongings included dozens of sketches of a humanoid figure with mandibles and a plasma weapon. These sketches vanished from evidence lockup in 1956. The incidents were increasing in frequency. The hunters were coming more often. 1968, Cambodia. A special operations team disappeared during a classified mission. The only evidence of their fate was a series of 3 Polaroid photographs showing bodies suspended from trees, skinned. The photographer was never identified. A classified Pentagon memo from this period references non-human combatants in Southeast Asia. 3 investigators assigned to analyze the photographs died in separate accidents within 6 months. The file was sealed by presidential order and remains redacted to this day. 1979, Afghanistan. Soviet special forces encountered what their report termed an invisible hunter in the mountains. 13 soldiers killed, their bodies displayed in trees, skulls and spines taken as trophies. The incident was classified at the highest levels. One survivor, whose name has been redacted from all documents, provided detailed sketches of a humanoid figure with advanced weaponry that matched no known technology. He described it as hunting for sport. He disappeared from a Moscow hospital 3 days after debriefing. Do you see it now? The pattern across centuries, across continents, always the same signature, always the same hunting methodology, and always carefully hidden from public view. Then came 1987. A Hollywood producer named Joel Silver commissioned a screenplay about an alien hunter. The writer, Jim Thomas, claimed the idea came to him in a dream. But did it? Or was it planted? The original screenplay was significantly different from what eventually appeared on screen. It contained details that matched classified incidents dating back centuries, details the writer should have had no access to. 3 Pentagon officials reviewed the script before production. After their review, significant changes were made. The Predator's appearance was altered, its motivations simplified, its methods sanitized. The movie was allowed to proceed with these changes. Why? Why would the government allow a film that came so close to the truth? Because fiction is the perfect cover for fact, because a truth revealed as entertainment becomes impossible to believe as reality, because warnings can be hidden in plain sight. The pattern continues. 1990, Los Angeles. Gang violence spikes dramatically over one summer week. Official reports blame drug wars, but internal LAPD documents describe unexplained thermal signatures and subjects suspended from water towers. 7 officers involved in the investigation died in the line of duty within the following month. Their case files were seized by federal agents. The official narrative became unprecedented gang violence. The truth was sealed. 1996, Chernobyl exclusion zone. 3 research scientists disappeared while collecting radiation data. Russian military forces established a perimeter and denied access to international investigators. Satellite imagery showed unusual heat signatures moving through the abandoned city at night. The official conclusion? Radiation-induced hallucinations and accidental deaths. But a leaked document from a Ukrainian official described finding one scientist alive, repeating the phrase, "It hunts in the hottest places," before dying of traumatic injuries. His skull and spine were never recovered. 2004, Antarctica. 7 researchers at an international climate station died under what were officially termed unknown circumstances. The lone survivor, Dr. Kenzo Yamato, described a cloaked hunter that moved through walls and collected trophies from those it killed. He was diagnosed with extreme hypothermia-induced psychosis and committed to psychiatric care. His journal, containing detailed drawings of a humanoid hunter with advanced technology, disappeared from evidence. Dr. Yamato himself vanished from the psychiatric facility 3 months later. The official cause of the incident remains classified. 2010, Brazil. 17 illegal loggers in the Amazon rainforest were found suspended from trees, skinned, missing their skulls and spines. Authorities blamed indigenous tribes, but local communities reported demons that bend light and hunters from the stars. 3 separate investigators from the Brazilian Federal Police died in apparent accidents within weeks of beginning their inquiry. The case remains officially unsolved. 2017, Afghanistan again. A special forces team engaged what their after-action report described as an unidentified hostile with advanced camouflage technology. The report was immediately classified. 3 survivors were debriefed and separated to different military installations. All 3 died in training accidents within 6 months. Their personal effects, including journals and sketches, were confiscated by unnamed intelligence officials. The pattern is accelerating. The incidents are coming faster now. Did you notice something else? The escalation correlates with rising global temperatures. They come more frequently to hotter regions. It only hunts in the hot season. Climate change isn't just an environmental threat, it's creating ideal hunting conditions. But why am I telling you this? Why risk exposing what powerful forces have worked so hard to conceal? Because the pattern has changed again. It's no longer just targeting warriors and hunters, it's adapting, evolving its strategy. 2020, Death Valley, California. A group of 5 wildlife photographers disappeared. Their equipment was found abandoned. The memory cards from their cameras had been removed. One camera contained a single image, a blurry photograph of a distortion in the air shaped like a humanoid figure. The official explanation: heat-related disorientation leading to fatal exposure. But the temperature that day was only 105 degrees Fahrenheit, hot, but not immediately fatal for prepared individuals. Search and rescue personnel reported finding strange tracks that appeared and disappeared, and three-toed footprints that matched no known animal. 3 weeks after the investigation closed, the lead park ranger committed suicide. His final message to his wife: "I saw it watching me through the window last night. It knows I know." 2022, Yellowstone National Park. 3 separate hiking groups disappeared within the same week, 12 people in total. The only evidence was a smartphone recovered containing video footage of what appears to be a heat distortion moving between trees. Audio analysis revealed clicking sounds in the background. The FBI took over the investigation, which was abruptly closed 3 weeks later. The official conclusion: bear attacks. But no bodies were ever found, no blood evidence was recovered, and bears don't take trophies. The pattern has changed. It's hunting in more populated areas, it's taking more trophies, and it's getting bolder. Scientists have documented 2023 and 2024 as the hottest years on record. Global temperatures continue to rise, and with them, the frequency of unexplained disappearances with the same signature characteristics: missing persons in remote but accessible areas, evidence of advanced technology that defies explanation, and always, the missing skulls and spines when bodies are recovered. January 2025. The FBI established a classified task force to investigate what internal documents call trophy hunting incidents. 3 months later, the task force was disbanded. 2 members died in car accidents. 1 disappeared while hiking. The remaining members were reassigned to unrelated cases across different field offices. All files were classified at the highest level. What changed? Why terminate an investigation into an escalating threat? Because they found something that confirmed their worst fears, something that connected every incident across 5 centuries of human history. They aren't just hunters, they're students. They've been studying us, learning our weaknesses, our strengths, our technologies, our responses. They've been watching civilization develop, cataloging our weapons, our defenses, our tactics. Each hunting party takes back not just physical trophies, but knowledge, intelligence about the most dangerous prey on Earth, and we've been helping them. Every film, every story, every piece of fiction about them, it's all been absorbed, analyzed, and used to refine their understanding of how we think. We revealed our tactics, our fears, our understanding of their motives, all while believing we were just telling stories. The entertainment wasn't just a cover, it was Reconnaissance. Look at the progression of the Predator films and how they mirror actual incidents. The original film depicts a hunter targeting military personnel, just like the documented cases from Vietnam, Afghanistan, and elsewhere. The sequel moved to an urban environment just before the Los Angeles incidents began. Each subsequent film revealed new aspects of their culture, their technology, their biology, pieces of information that intelligence agencies had documented but suppressed. The fiction was following the fact, revealing only what they already knew we had discovered. But why allow any revelation at all? Why not suppress everything? Because total suppression creates suspicion. Limited revelation disguised as fiction creates deniability. Anyone claiming the truth is dismissed as confusing movies with reality, the perfect cover. And it's working. Even now, as you listen to this, part of you is thinking, this is just a creepy story based on those movies. None of this is real. That doubt is your protection and their camouflage. But consider this: heat waves are becoming more frequent, more intense, and longer lasting globally. And with each heat wave comes a spike in missing persons reports matching the pattern. Always the same signature, always the same trophy taking. July 2025, the hottest month ever recorded globally. 97 people disappeared from national parks, hiking trails, and remote camping areas across the world. The cases remain open. The bodies remain unfound. The pattern continues. Are you still certain this is fiction? Consider what you're doing right now. You're watching this video. Your attention is fixed on a screen. Your awareness of your surroundings has diminished. You're focused here, not on the windows, not on the dark corners of your room, not on the unusual heat signature that might be moving outside. They've adapted their hunting strategies to modern human behavior. We've become sedentary, distracted by screens, oblivious to our surroundings. Perfect prey. Look away from the screen for a moment. Check your surroundings. Is anything out of place? Any unusual reflections in the glass? Any distortions in the air? Any clicking sounds you can't quite place? I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm trying to warn you. The most recent development is the most disturbing. October 2025. A classified Pentagon document, leaked briefly before being scrubbed from the internet, outlined a new pattern. The hunters are no longer just taking physical trophies. They're collecting data, digital information. The document described recovered technology capable of extracting data from electronic devices within a certain radius. They're harvesting our knowledge now, not just our skulls. Think about what that means. Every device you own is a window they can look through. Every piece of information you consume or create is intelligence they can gather. Every moment you spend staring at a screen is a moment of vulnerability they can exploit. The most recent confirmed incident occurred just 3 weeks ago, December 26, 2025. A family of 4 disappeared from a vacation home in Arizona. The temperature that day was 75 degrees Fahrenheit, unusually warm for December, but not extreme. Local police found no signs of forced entry, no evidence of violence. The family's devices, phones, tablets, laptops, were still there, but all had been wiped of data. Security cameras showed nothing unusual except a 10-minute gap in footage. The family simply vanished. Except for one thing, a single image was found on the 10-year-old daughter's smartphone, a drawing she had made just before disappearing. A crude but recognizable sketch of a tall figure with hair like ropes standing outside her window, the same description given by Dr. Hayes in 1932, the same figure depicted in Marcel Duran's sketches from 1954, the same entity described by witnesses for over 4 centuries. They're still here, they're still hunting, and they're adapting faster than we can comprehend. But why am I telling you this? Why risk exposing what governments have concealed for centuries? Because the pattern has changed again. It's not just the heat anymore. It's not just remote locations. It's not just warriors and adventurers. The hunters are targeting something new, awareness. They're specifically hunting those who recognize the pattern, those who see through the fiction to the truth beneath. Every researcher who has gotten too close to the truth has disappeared. Every investigator who connected the dots has met with an accident. Every witness who maintained their story has eventually vanished. The pattern is clear. Knowledge is now the primary trigger for being hunted. So why expose you to this danger by telling you? Because knowledge is also protection. The hunters operate in shadows, both literal and metaphorical. Their greatest advantage is our ignorance, our disbelief, our tendency to dismiss patterns as coincidence. Awareness is a double-edged sword. It makes you a potential target, but it also gives you a chance to recognize the signs, to understand the patterns, to know when the temperature rises abnormally, when electronic devices malfunction simultaneously, when that strange distortion appears in your peripheral vision. These aren't coincidences. They're warnings. The original film got one thing right. The hunters have a code. They don't target the defenseless, the unaware, the unprepared. They want challenge. They want worthy trophies. Knowledge makes you worthy, but it also makes you prepared. But there's something else, something I've held back until now, something discovered by that disbanded FBI task force before it was shuttered. The hunters aren't just studying us, they're selecting us, culling the weak, preserving the strong. They're guiding human evolution through selective pressure. Each generation of hunters takes the best of us, leaving their genetic legacy ended, while allowing the survivors, the ones who detected them, evaded them, nearly defeated them, to continue the species. They're breeding us, training us, preparing us. For what? That remains unknown, but the pattern suggests preparation for something beyond mere sport. Something that requires humanity to be stronger, more perceptive, more technologically advanced. Something that requires us to evolve specific traits and capabilities. We are being shaped, molded, generation after generation, century after century, the ultimate long-term experiment in guided evolution, and it's accelerating now. The incidents are increasing, the selection pressure is intensifying, something is coming. Some deadline approaches that requires the process to speed up. This is why I've risked telling you, why I've risked making you aware. because whatever is coming will require as many prepared minds as possible, as many humans as possible who understand what we're facing. The next heat wave is forecast to begin in 3 days. Global temperatures will rise again. The hunting season will begin again. Will you see the signs now? Will you recognize the pattern? Will you be prepared when the air shimmers in that distinctive way, when your electronic devices fail simultaneously, when that clicking sound emerges from the darkness? You're aware now. You've been warned. You're part of this ancient pattern whether you wanted to be or not. Simply by consuming this information, you've entered the game. You're being tested like all humans before you. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you dismiss it as fiction, return to comfortable ignorance, or will you open your eyes to the pattern that's been unfolding around humanity for centuries? If you've made it this far, you're already different. You've absorbed information that most would reject. Your perception has been altered. You'll notice things you wouldn't have before. Patterns, connections, distortions in the expected order. They'll notice too. They always do. But remember, they respect strength, perception, and preparation. They've been culling our herd, but also strengthening it. Use that. Understand that you're part of something that began centuries before you were born and will continue long after you're gone. If you truly understand what I've shared, leave the phrase "I see the pattern" in the comments. It won't protect you, but it will connect you with others who see, others who understand, others who are preparing. The temperature is rising. The hunters are returning. The ancient game continues. And now, you're playing too. Whether you wanted to or not, remember, in the hottest places, in the darkest corners, when your devices fail and that clicking sound begins, you're not experiencing a movie. You're experiencing the truth that has been hidden in fiction for decades. They are real. They are here. They are watching, even now.